This story was sent to me by Caressa McKnight, and shout out to her, by the way. So, as you can see in this picture, this is a picture of Pete Buttigieg. I know I've been calling him Buttigieg for a long time, but that's how I saw his name as I pronounced it. But he is doing something right now that is going to pretty much back up the video that I did a couple days ago, where I was talking about how a lot of black people were leaving the Democratic plantation, and how they just used us for votes and they weren't listening when we made demands, and now they have found another base. So Pete Buttigieg pretty much let the cat out of the bag. And based on this article, it's showing right here they found a new base, and that's with the Hispanic and Latino voters, because they are going out of their way to do all this extra stuff for them, even though we made demands, because they found their new base. Now, wouldn't that be funny? They found their new base and they still lose that election next year. That would be priceless. But this article is coming from the LA Times, and it says Buttigieg vows to compensate and fast track to citizenship children separated at the border. And we already know who exactly he's talking about. So it says, when the topic in the Democratic debate turned to immigration, the candidates uniformly pilloried President Trump's agenda of dramatically accelerating detainments and deportations. But one candidate went further. South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg pledged that he would work to remedy the damage done to families separated at the border by providing payments to the children and moving them to the front of the line for American citizenship. See, the thing is, they could not get the results from us that they wanted. See, they wanted so much from us without giving anything in return. And when we made demands, they pretty much left us in the dust and went on to another group of people that aren't even here legally. So basically, they are using those immigrants for votes. They probably won't get much out of it anyway. But then again, who knows? Because they need the votes. They're in panic mode right now. They are, they're scrambling. They're running around like a chicken with their head cut off. The title in the video that I did the other day pretty much explained that, where they said they are freaking out that they're losing the black supporters. And it makes them do stuff like this. Look at Kamala Harris. She went all the way down to the Native Americans, a group of people that probably wouldn't even give them an edge when it comes to this voting. But he says he will provide payments to the children and moving them to the front of the line for American citizenship. Asked if he would support financial compensations for those thousands of children, he responded, yes, and they would have a fast track to citizenship. It was wrong and we should fix what was broken. Now, when that question, or when that topic of reparations came to him a couple months ago from black people, it didn't come out like that. It came out more of a soft no. This guy flat out said yes, he would give compensation to them. Buttigieg talked about being the child of an immigrant father and the impact immigrants have had on his city. I am a mayor of a city where neighborhoods are coming back to life largely because of the contribution of immigrants. So that's why he feels a connection to them. Questioning then moved to reparations for descendants of slaves. Here we go. Buttigieg said he supports a bill in Congress that would study reparations. Now look at that. Look at that. So see, I love when we can put stuff together. So Pete Buttigieg said that he would give compensation to those at the border who were separated from their families, and he would fast track them to the front of the line to get American citizenship. But when questioned about reparations for the descendants of slaves, he wants to talk about a study. See how it changed? And the people the people that are asking for reparations were born here. The people he's talking about wanting to help aren't born from here. He only feels a connection because he says his father was an immigrant. And Pete Buttigieg, you wanted to know why black people were very standoffish towards you when you came and did that campaign, or why they're not supporting you now, or any of the other candidates for that matter? It's because of this. But they want to act dumb and act like we don't. Let me continue. He says, we are not talking about a gift to anybody. He said, we are talking about mending what was broken. Other candidates sidestepped the reparations questions. I bet you they did. Like, they don't want to answer that question for shit. Because, see, they know what it is. They know them reparations are a bundle. Trillions of dollars. Former Vice President Joe Biden instead returned to talking about immigrants. Now, look at that. Now, see, this to the black people out there that are still on the Democratic plantation, you need to hear this, because they are literally asking you to vote for them with nothing in return. They are saying it flat out right here. He went from, and this is Pete Buttigieg, went from talking about wanting to fast track the citizenship for illegals to get to the front of the line for American citizenship. And when asked about reparations for the descendants of slaves or black people born here, it needs a study. Then they get to Joe Biden, and he said he sidestepped it and went back to the immigrants. Are y'all seeing? Are you hearing this here? They are telling you who they are for, and they are not for you. They are not for us. But it's a shame, because you can tell this to people until you are blue in the face, and they will still go out and vote for these people and support them, and then come back with this. Well, if we don't vote for them, that means Trump going to get back in office. So it's like you damn if you do, damn if you don't. Guess what? Y'all still don't know how the electoral college work. You know, I hate to say this, but many black people are very politically illiterate. I was about to say inaccurate, but that could be used too. But politically illiterate. You love that feel-goodery that they tell you. I just did that video about the backbone thing with black women. They love that feel-goodery, but they don't get anything in return. That's like the definition of insanity. To go back and do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results to be rendered, but it's not going to give you any different results. It's going to give you the same one that didn't work before. He says, the reason we are the country we are is because of immigration. So what was going on when our ancestors were brought here? Was that a form of immigration, Joe Biden? Is that what you're trying to say? He sounds just like that Camila Cabello who said this nation was built by dreamers. It almost sounds exactly like what she said. People who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. Oh, it's interesting. He says the devil. So you're quoting yourself now, Joe Biden. You earned that title, Jim Crow Joe. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity is not only stupid and immoral, it is bad for America. You know what? I don't agree with everything that 45 says, but I will agree with him on this. Immigration is bad for this establishment, and it is very bad for black people. And those Democrats that's up there, they know that. Every time they sidestep, like the article stated, talking about everything else that's affecting people who aren't from here. First off, that's a red flag. Let's put the reparations to the side right quick. They are talking about wanting to give and lend support and aid to people who are not from here and who will feast off of this economy. And you know, when that happens, that hurts us. Like, we can't get jobs. Like, and what they'll do is they'll try to frame it like we are lazy and don't want to work. That couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, there are some lazy people in our community, but there's lazy people in every community. But to frame it like we're the only ones that's lazy is BS. And when they come over and eat away all the jobs, whatever is left that hasn't been shipped overseas, we have nothing. But they don't see that. All they see is getting votes and getting into a political power so they can make the calls, allegedly, and get paid. That's all it is. They, like I said, truth be told, they don't really care about them people down at that border. They just need the numbers. They need the votes. That's why I cannot wait for November of next year. It is going to be very, very interesting to see how all of this unfolds. Like I said, they are telling on themselves. They are letting you know who they are. And to the people that's on that plantation with the Democratic Party, Y'all really need to, I'm talking about black people in particular. Y'all need to know who the true enemy is. Don't get it twisted. They are both, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are two wings on the same bird. But I'm talking about the ones on the Democratic side because that's the one that they cater to the most. I'm so glad that this year we were able to help expose their true nature for who they truly are and what their agenda is. And it ain't no agenda for us. I'll talk to you all in the next one.